New data from the Arkansas Health Survey shows food insecurity is getting worse, with almost 30% of adults in the state unsure where their next meal is coming from. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer shows us how researchers say this new, more precise data can help target real solutions and what local groups are seeing on the front lines.
Across our area, small blessings boxes and food pantries have become a lifeline for many families. And new data from the Arkansas Health Survey shows that need is growing, with about 29% of adults food insecure. That amounts to almost 688,000 people.
We don't see food insecurity uniformly distributed across the state.
Researchers say this survey is different, using census-level tract data that's smaller, neighborhood-sized areas that give a much more precise look.
We have 823 tracts in Arkansas where we see much higher prevalence than even you would see at the county level, right? And so there's much more variation and a much more nuanced story to tell.
Lead researcher Michael Nino says the survey is crucial to see where resources are missing, especially as federal food insecurity tracking is going away.
It'll be vital that we continue to provide that information to people across the state.
At Antioch for Youth and Family in Fort Smith, they see those numbers firsthand. The study found Sebastian County has one of the highest rates in the state.
We're averaging about 150 new clients every month, so it's not surprising at all for us.
In 2025 alone, they served more than 32,000 people and distributed over 1 million pounds of food.
It's not just a statistic, it's families, seniors, and working people who are choosing between food, rent, and utilities.
For researchers and advocacy groups, the goal is that this data turns into action and real hope for families who need it most.
Where those pockets of prevalence are and start to build policy and practice around areas where there's the most need.
Covering news where you live, Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
Arkansas is only the second state following California to conduct a survey like this to capture insights at the census tract level. University of Arkansas is planning to do it annually. They'll soon release interactive maps from the survey that lays out all of this data. New tonight at 10, communities in the River Valley mourning the sudden loss of a volunteer firefighter. Brenda Spear was part of the White Bluff Rye Hill Fire Department. She passed away yesterday, surrounded by family, after she suffered a stroke last week. The department's fire chief says she constantly found ways to give back, like taking pictures at kids' sporting events and rodeo events, then giving those pictures to families for free.
I tell all the firefighters coming in, they're volunteer firefighters, that you have to have what they call a servant's heart to do this, because you're doing it for free on your own time and you just want to help people. So she had that big servant's heart.
Brenda's husband posted on Facebook that he'll share details about a funeral once those arrangements have been made. A shooting in Rhode Island left 2 people dead, 3 others injured. It happened during a high school hockey game in Pawtucket. It's about 45 minutes from Boston. Police said the shooting appeared to be related to a family dispute. One of the deceased shooting victims was reportedly a young girl. Olin Lawrence was on the ice at the time of the shooting and told reporters his experience during that chaos.
I don't even know. It was, I think it was like mid-play. I heard a couple gunshots go off. I thought it was balloons at first. It was loud, and then it kept going on. So I ran right into the locker room after I got off the ice. I mean, we just tried to stay calm, stay cool and collective, and just try to just like stay all together.
Police said the gunman is also dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. They identified the shooter tonight as 57-year-old man. They say his family member was playing in that hockey game. Tonight, the FBI analyzing male DNA found on a black glove roughly 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. Investigators are now trying to match it to the unknown male DNA found inside the house. Andres Gutierrez is in Tucson now with the latest.
Savannah Guthrie posted her latest video message after the search for her 84-year-old mother, Nancy, enters a 3rd week.
It is never too late to do the right thing. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being.
Time is crucial in the investigation into Guthrie's abduction. According to sources, a tracking device mounted on a helicopter has been used in hopes of detecting signals from Guthrie's pacemaker. Amid the desperate search, the Pima County Sheriff announced that Nancy Guthrie's family and their spouses have been ruled out as possible suspects in her disappearance. In a statement, he wrote, quote, "The family has been nothing but cooperative and gracious and are victims in this case." The FBI says one potential lead is a recovered glove that appears to match those seen on the suspect in the home surveillance camera video.
If they're able to match the DNA from inside that residence with the glove they found on the outside, then that's where you got the home run.
The sheriff confirms investigators are reviewing surveillance video from Walmart stores, which has provided records of every Ozark Trail hiker backpack purchased online and in stores over the past several months, and says the clothing, including the suspect's face mask, also came from Walmart and possibly the same location. Andres Gutierrez, CBS News, Tucson, Arizona.
Looking ahead to tomorrow, early voting begins across Arkansas for next month's elections. Voters will narrow down the candidate pool for several key races. Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton is up for re-election. He faces 2 Republican challengers, while 2 Democrats are contending for their party's nomination. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders also seeking another term in office. She has no contenders in her own party, but 2 Democrats are running in their primary. And in the U.S. House, the 4th Congressional District will see 2 Democrats try to win their party's primary to challenge Republican incumbent Bruce Westerman. It's, of course, just a small part of what's to be a long ballot next month. There's plenty of impactful local races and ballot proposals as well. You can find your county's election information by texting the word VOTE to the number there on your screen, 785-5000. We'll send you back a link to our election guide. Another key statewide race up for grabs is on the state's nonpartisan Supreme Court. Voters will decide if Justice Nicholas Bronny gets to stay on the 7-member court. Governor Sanders appointed him at the start of last year, but an appointed justice cannot run for their own seat, so he's running for an open position, which is position 3. John Adams is challenging him. He's an attorney and law professor. The race is nonpartisan, but Bronny has been endorsed by the state's Republican leadership, while Adams has run for Congress and the state legislature as a Democrat in the past. Meanwhile, a new candidate has thrown his name into the running for Fort Smith's mayor. Luis Andrade announced his campaign over the weekend. He's looking to replace George McGill, who announced he is not seeking re-election. Andrade previously ran for mayor when he was 18 and lost to McGill. He joins 4 other candidates: Christina Katsavas, Sarah Harrison, Dan Williams, and Shane McKinney. Meanwhile, it's City Council night tomorrow night across the region, and in Fayetteville, the council will weigh in on compensating a resident for sewer damage that the city caused. It was discussed at last week's agenda session. The city improperly located a sewer main, and a company later drilled into it. Caused $130,000 in damage to one home, but the city has an ordinance that can only give $100,000. Other items on the agenda: renaming the City Hall Annex building after longtime former city mayor Lionel Jordan, and an application for a planning study for the Weddington corridor.